kindergarten. Today we are going to work with primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, to make our very own Mondrian style painting. The shapes that we're going to use are just squares. So the first thing that you're going to do is you'll get to your seat and you'll see that you have a square white piece of paper. I want you to take a pencil and I want you to write your first name and KJ for kindergarten, Jenna. Then I want you to flip your paper over. At your seat, there is paper plates filled with blue and 2 sponges at each seat. You will share with your friends, and red and yellow. We're going to take turns using them, and we're not going to fight or get paint all over the table today. So what we're going to do to make our squares is we are going to dip our sponge into the paint and get it nice and coated on one side, and then you're going to decide where you want that to be, and you're going to push it down, not using your fingers, and make a stamp. It's not going to look like a perfect square, and that's okay. You can start out by putting more than one square of that same color all over your paper. You decide where it goes. That way everybody's will look different. So I'm going to put, I think, 4 to 5 squares of each. So 4, taking my time, 5, and then I'm going to put it back on the tray, and I'm going to set it, and then pass it to, or push it aside so someone else can use it. Now we need all of the primary colors on our paper. So the next thing I'm going to do is add my blue. So I'm just kind of blotting it off to the side so I don't have all of the paint from the plate, because we got to share onto my rectangle. And then maybe I'll change the direction that it's going to go. I'm going to go sideways. This is called stamping. We're using paint, primary colors, to stamp our picture. What we're trying to do is kind of fill it up so it doesn't have a lot of white paper left over, but I don't want them one on top of the other because Mondrian kept his colors separate. So then my last color would be red. So I'm going to start my red right here. I think I'm going to see a big spot. If they touch a little bit, that's okay. I'm not even going to put more paint on it. Sometimes you can stamp more than once without having to put it back in the paint. See how I did 2 without even having to go back and put more paint on. So then I'm going to put one over here. Now this one overlapped a little, and that's okay. You can see that this corner didn't turn out either, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. We're just having fun with paint. We're learning about primary colors. We saw a video about Mondrian, and we're using his kind of technique and to make a composition, which means a picture that's kind of planned out by you, okay? And when you have your entire painting stamped and all 3 of the primary colors are on your picture, then you can take and carry it like a pizza over to the drying rack. Be careful not to hit your friends, and then you can free draw, or if we have time, we can sit on the rug. But today, we might not have very much time, so I will be looking for helpers after we are done. Thank you for sitting so nicely. Wait for the first direction from Mrs. Minot before you start painting. So we got to make sure that our names are on them before we paint so that we always know whose artwork is whose. Until next time, kindergartners, thank you again for listening so well. Let's do a good job and be nice and clean painters today.